In the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Beneficent. Now with today's main headlines. Taliban imposed ban on Shia religious texts. Deride followers as polytheists. Doctors urge Finnish government to reconsider plans to ban undocumented migrants from healthcare. Myanmar's military intensifies violence against civilians, UN reports. Tunisia accused of crackdown on opposition ahead of elections. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is Ayub Nouinou and you are watching Shia Waves live for Imam Hussein TV 3. The Taliban have intensified restrictions against Shia Muslims in Afghanistan, banning the import of Shia religious books and prayer texts, according to an article by Hashd al-Subh. Pilgrims returning from Karbala report harsh treatment at border crossings, particularly at Islam Qala, where Taliban officials insult Shia followers, labeling them as polytheists and infidels. Many pilgrims have expressed concerns over the confiscation of religious materials they purchased during visits to Shia holy sites in Iran and Iraq. One pilgrim, Abdul Hussein, described through searches by Taliban members who inspected clothing and bags for religious texts without explanation. Another anonymous pilgrim recounted being subjected to humiliation and derogatory language after his religious books were seized. Efforts to address these issues with Taliban officials have led to even harsher treatment. Medical professionals in Finland are calling on the right-wing government to reconsider its proposal to ban undocumented migrants from accessing non-emergency healthcare, citing serious concerns over the impact on public health and vulnerable communities. The government, led by Petteri Orpo's Conservative National Coalition Party and supported by the far-right Finns Party, planned to reverse a 2023 law that allows undocumented migrants full access to healthcare, the report said. The proposed amendment, aimed at reducing spending and immigration, would still provide exemptions for children, people with disabilities and those classified as extremely vulnerable. However, the Finnish Medical Association and organisations like Physicians for Social Responsibility argue that restricting access could endanger lives. Conditions such as diabetes or asthma could go untreated, putting people at risk of life-threatening emergencies, warned Aino Tuomi Nicola, an advisor for the latter group. Critics, as per The Guardian, emphasise that healthcare is a fundamental human right and this law would lead to unnecessary suffering and undermine Finland's commitment to justice. Doctors warn that neglecting preventative care will likely increase healthcare costs in the long run, as untreated conditions lead to emergency situations. In response to these concerns, the Ministry of Social Affairs and Health has delayed the proposal's presentation to Parliament for further review. Despite the pushback, the proposal remains strongly supported by the Finns Party, which views it as a key measure to reduce immigration. A recent United Nations report reveals a significant escalation in killings and torture of civilians by Myanmar's military since the February 2021 coup. More details in the following report.
The UN report states that at least 5,350 civilians have been killed, with 2,414 deaths occurring in the latest reporting period from April 2023 to June 2024, marking a 50% increase from the previous period. The military's takeover led to widespread protests, which have since evolved into an armed rebellion. In response, the military has ramped up arrests, with nearly 27,400 individuals detained since the coup. Many of those arrested are believed to be held in military training centres, and reports indicate that children have been taken from their families as a punitive measure for political dissent. UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Turk highlighted the dire situation, stating Myanmar is plumbing the depths of the human rights abyss. The report indicates that at least 1,853 people have died in custody since the coup, including 88 minors. Many of these deaths are attributed to abusive treatment during the interrogation and lack of adequate healthcare. Detainees have reported severe mistreatment, including physical abuse with various implements and psychological torture involving threats from animals. The military has yet to respond to the allegations presented in the UN report. The UN has called for the situation to be referred to the International Criminal Court, OHCHR, called for all those responsible for gross human rights violations and serious violations of international humanitarian law in Myanmar to be held to account. It should be mentioned that conflict in Myanmar has resulted in the deaths of tens of thousands of Rohingya Muslims, over 1.1 million displaced and forced to flee to neighbouring countries, particularly Bangladesh, where they reside in dire conditions in UN camps. This is Ali McNally reporting for Shia Waves.
Let's take a look back at today's main headlines. Taliban impose ban on Shia religious texts, deride followers as polytheists. Doctors urge Finnish government to reconsider plans to ban undocumented migrants from healthcare. Myanmar's military intensifies violence against civilians, UN reports. Also tonight, scientists confirm third state of existence beyond life and death. Amnesty International has condemned the recent arrest of at least 97 members of the opposition group Ennahda in Tunisia, which occurred on September the 12th and 13th. The organization claims these arrests made under conspiracy and counter-terrorism charges indicate an escalation in the authorities' crackdown on civil society ahead of the presidential election scheduled for October 6th. Amnesty International Secretary General Agnes Kalamard criticized the Tunisian government's actions, stating they reflect a pre-election assault on human rights and the rule of law. The group also highlighted concerns over the independence of the judiciary, noting that the Independent High Authority for Elections rejected a court ruling to reinstate 3 disqualified candidates, allowing only President Kais Saied and 2 others to run. In response to the developments, several human rights organizations have formed an international support committee advocating for free elections and the release of detained individuals. Demonstrations took place across Tunisia, with thousands calling for respect for civil liberties. Human Rights Watch has noted that President Saied has faced criticism for consolidating power since assuming office in 2021, leading to an alleged decline in human rights conditions in the country. And now we continue with some short news. Grand Ayatollah Sheikh Bashir al-Najafi stressed the importance of continuing efforts to track down remnants of extremist terrorist groups and cleanse Iraq of any threats to its security. Grand Ayatollah al-Najafi's statement came during his meeting with a delegation of security forces from Mosul, where he praised their sacrifices in liberating the country. He told the delegation, "Every step you take should be for the sake of Iraq, the Iraq of Ali and Hussein, peace be upon them, as you protect this nation." At the end of the meeting, the delegation expressed their gratitude to Grand Ayatollah Bashir al-Najafi, reaffirming their commitment to safeguarding Iraq's security. His Eminence added that Iraq's security challenges require collective efforts and constant vigilance, emphasizing the importance of professionalism and cooperation in facing future threats. In the first half of 2024, 45,000 Afghans applied for asylum in European countries. It added that by July, a total of 513,000 asylum applications were recorded across Europe, with Afghan applicants primarily seeking refuge in Germany, Greece, France, Switzerland, Belgium and Italy. This marks an 18% decrease in Afghan asylum requests compared to the same period in 2023. While Syrian applicants led the numbers with 71,000 requests, the EUAA reported that around 65% of Afghan applications were accepted. However, tightening immigration policies across Europe are creating new hurdles for asylum seekers, reflecting the ongoing humanitarian crisis faced by many Afghans. Portugal is grappling with devastating wildfires that have claimed 7 lives, including 3 firefighters who perished in the Coimbra region. Over 4,500 firefighters, supported by 1,000 vehicles and 20 aircraft, are battling approximately 50 active fires, with the northern Aveiro region experiencing the most damage, scorching around 10,000 hectares. Prime Minister Luis Montenegro has warned of challenging days ahead as the country remains under a fire alert. Local residents are actively participating in firefighting efforts, while authorities have called for additional support from the EU's civil protection mechanism. Recent weather conditions have posed the highest fire risk since 2001, exacerbated by climate change factors, according to experts. A new study from the Global Research on Antimicrobial Resistance Project warns that over 39 million people may die from antibiotic-resistant infections by 2015. The research indicates that annual deaths directly caused by antimicrobial resistance could rise to 1.91 million, a nearly 70% increase from 2022. While deaths in children under 5 have decreased, fatalities amongst those aged 70 and older have surged by over 80%. Experts emphasize the urgent need for interventions, including enhanced infection prevention, increased vaccinations, and responsible antibiotic use. The study analyzed data from 204 countries, revealing alarming trends, particularly in regions like Sub-Saharan Africa and Southeast Asia. Proactive measures could prevent up to 92 million deaths between 2025 and 2050 without significant action. AMR threatens to become a major global health crisis, necessitating immediate attention and resources. Meta is introducing new teen accounts for Instagram users under 18, allowing parents more control over their children's activity on the platform, including the option to restrict access during nighttime hours. This change will initially apply to new teen users and will gradually extend to existing teenage accounts in the coming months. The teen account settings will enable parents to set daily usage limits, preventing app usage during specific times, monitor accounts their child is messaging, and view the types of content their child is engaging with. According to the report, these new settings will be available in the US, UK, Australia, and Canada. Nick Clegg, Meta's President of Global Affairs, stated that the goal of this change is to shift the balance in favor of parents. This update follows the Australian government's recent announcement of plans to introduce legislation aimed at raising the minimum age for accessing social media to an age between 14 and 16. In a groundbreaking study, researchers have proposed the existence of a third state of being which challenges conventional definitions of life and death. This phenomenon occurs when cells from decreased organisms continue to function and even develop new capabilities post-mortem. Led by Professor Peter Noble from the University of Washington and Alex Poshitkov from the City of Hope National Medical Center, the study published in the journal Physiology suggests that these cells can transform into new multicellular life forms when provided with nutrients, oxygen, and biochemical signals. The implications of this research could redefine legal death and open new avenues in regenerative medicine. Traditionally, life and death have been viewed as opposites. However, the emergence of these new cellular functions from dead organisms introduces a complex layer to our understanding of biological existence. For instance, skin cells from dead frogs have shown to spontaneously form xenobots, living machines capable of movement and material collection. Similarly, human lung cells can self-organize into anthrobots, which display remarkable healing abilities and self-repair mechanisms. The researchers emphasize that the ability of cells to enter this third state is influenced by various factors, including environmental conditions, energy availability, and the biological characteristics of the organism. They suggest that these findings could lead to innovative treatments such as the development of anthrobots from a patient's own tissue to deliver medication safely within the body. This research not only highlights the adaptability of cells but also opens unexplored frontiers in biology. The potential for creating biodegradable, self-renewing cellular machines could revolutionize medicine and provide insights into the physiological limits of life. We have reached the end of today's Shia Waves show. Let's remind our viewers of the main headlines. Taliban imposed ban on Shia religious texts, deride followers as polytheists. Doctors urge Finnish government to reconsider plans to ban undocumented migrants from healthcare. Myanmar's military intensifies violence against civilians, UN reports. Tunisia accused of crackdown on opposition ahead of elections. Scientists confirm third state of existence beyond life and death. You can view the latest news on our Shia Waves website, or you can send news of your city or country to be published on our news agency. Please contact us on the number at the bottom of your screen. Thank you all for watching. We pray to Allah Almighty to hasten the reappearance of the Master of our time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد الوصيين. السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة.
May your heart be at ease, O servant of mine. I am your Mawla al-Hussein. I am the stranger of Karbala, and you are a stranger in these moments. Whoever visits my resting place, I visit theirs, and if they were put in hellfire, my intercession would spare. Did you not visit me after every salah? Did you not cry for me and wail for me? Did you not call out, Labbayka ya Hussein? Did you not call out, Labbayka ya Hussein? You have a right upon me, O my servant, and here is where you will take it, so do not be scared. O Allah, I beseech you in the name of my mother Fatima and her broken ribs.
Let the light of Ziyarat Ashura bring tranquility to the graves of your deceased. By contributing to the Husseini message, a recitation